What's up, guys? I'm in the middle of a workout, but I had something happen that I want to share, and I'm trying to do more of this because, typically when I work out, and I would suspect it's the same with a lot of people, but when you work out, that frontal lobe of your brain gets shut down, and all the reasoning and all the bullshit and worrying and concern, all that part of your brain that generates that kind of shuts down, and you can start thinking a little bit more rationally. Well, what also happens is I'm starting to pay more attention to cues that come in and things that are kind of popping into my awareness. So just got done with my first part of my workout, which is running some 200-meter sprints, and anytime I run, I think about how I hate running. In fact, that's kind of a lie now because I've done so much of it lately that I really like it, but historically I've hated running. And so today I'm thinking, where'd that come from? Where did that dislike of running come from? And as far back as I can remember, I hated running. And it really started, I think the genesis was in high school, running track, because being one of the shorter ones and with stubby legs, I'm the slowest one. And I was always the slowest runner, and somehow I generated this story about me not being good at running that has since followed me my whole life. So then that thought about not liking running and how I wasn't that good of a runner back in high school and all that shit started, you see these threads, and then it started thinking about me being on the basketball team, and there was a coach there that back then I kind of thought didn't like me and kept me out, didn't let me play because he didn't like my dad, and my dad was this vocal, real outspoken guy. Of course, one of those dads where if his son didn't play, he was going to talk to the coach type of thing. Looking back, I just wasn't that good. That's probably why I didn't play, right? But I'm starting to think, okay, well, what meaning can I take from that? Like, what programming did I take from those thoughts and that interpretation of experience that I had back then? What did I take from that could possibly be holding me back now? And granted, and admittedly, I don't have that great a memory of back in high school, 8th grade, 9th grade. I remember bits and pieces about it, but the parts I was searching for around the specific instance with this coach not letting me play, and I'm trying to remember what he said and how he looked, and trying to get some type of nugget of information around, like, okay, how did that seed my programming and my meaning making for today? And I start realizing that I'm starting to make up a lot of things, right? I'm starting to kind of fill in gaps with my memory and my meaning making. And then all of a sudden, as I'm running just now, it occurs to me that I think we do that a lot, right? We have these bad memories, if we're going to put a label on them, these bad memories, shit that happened in our childhood, shit that happened in our adolescence, and we label them as bad, and I think we hold on to them. But at the end of the day, when you put some time in between them and you start to go back and really think about them, I believe a lot of our memory is filling in the gaps, right? It's that meaning that we put on it. Meaning that we make up a lot of shit about our past. Now, that's not to say that bad shit hasn't happened to people, like real bad shit hasn't happened to people. I'm not trying to say people make up things or they imagine things that, that might make that kind of stuff less serious. I'm not trying to say that at all. But what I am saying is that I think, in my case anyway, there's a lot of things that I fill in the gaps and I make up to try to make some type of meaning on it. And again, our brain always goes to the negative. So I'm going to wrap all this up and fucking say, look, a lot of the meaning that I put on shit that happened to me back in high school and adolescence that I, used to label as negative or self-limiting was my creation. And I can rewrite that, right? I'm in choice. I can rewrite that because my brain fucking does it anyway. So I had this epiphany of like, okay, well, I'm going to start consolidating and getting comprehensive shit, a list of all this shit that I've been classifying as negative, and I'm going to turn it around and make it positive. I'm going to fucking question it, which exactly is what I do when we run our workshops and do the work, right? The work by Byron Katie is essentially taking these negative judgments, spinning them around, questioning them, and then considering a different perspective. And so, for whatever reason, that whole process, even though I've been running that now and I've been facilitating that kind of work, the questioning of thoughts and judgments for a couple years now, I've never really integrated it into myself at a deep level, deep meaning back into my adolescence. So that just landed for me right now, where shit that I was classifying back in high school and adolescence as being bad or negative, or maybe I was holding on to it, I'm gonna reframe it. I'm not gonna rewrite history, right? Shit still happened. Those conversations still happened back then. I still had those feelings back then, but I'm gonna reclassify them as something that's positive, that's strengthening, that's gonna strengthen me and build my resolve and my mental toughness and all that great shit. So that's what's coming up for me right now. And guys, if this is resonating with you and you might be curious to carry on this kind of conversation about stuff that's happening in your life, then I would invite you to go over to killwolfacademy.com, click on Apex Experience, or you can go to apex-experience.com and look at that website, put your email address in, and let's start the conversation to see if maybe the event we're going to put on in January, where we're going to do the work and we're going to go deep into questioning self-limiting beliefs, maybe something for you. I don't know. You know, it's hard. It's a lot of work. It takes a lot of courage to really self-examine yourself and to find out, like, this is the shit that I've been carrying around for years that's holding me back from reaching my true potential. We've all got that shit. Some of us choose to go deep, figure it out, fix it. Some just aren't ready yet. Hopefully you'll get there soon. But again, guys, thank you. I had to jump in and post this because I had this, I don't know if it's an epiphany, but I had this connection that I need to memorialize. So I appreciate you guys being in the audience and listening to me. Have a good night.